Hello students, this is Dr. Petroda. Once again I am back with a video on binary search. Binary search related to your arrays. So let us get into the concept. Now before we get into the concept of binary search, let's very quickly revise what is search means. In our previous video we have already done linear search. Search is nothing but a process of locating, finding data. So you will find here we are locating or finding the data in a given data set. We have also seen there are two types of techniques that we use in order to search: linear search, which we already done in our previous video. In case you have not done, please refer to that video before you start learning the binary search. Today we are going to go and introduce ourselves with binary search. So before I get into binary search, very quick revision recap of what has been done in linear. So what was the ultimate requirement that we had was that in any kind of a search you need to have a data set, because from that only we are going to make computer search that value. Here we need second requirement is input. Without you give any kind of an input to the system, computer cannot search for. So what to search comes from the user. Now once the data is entered in a linear search, one way search, or you can say sequential search, we make computer read index numbers from one end to another end in one direction. The reading of data moves in one direction. If you really want, you can also go from reverse. You can take a last value and then move to the other direction, but in any case you will be moving into one direction. That's why it is known as unidirectional, one directional search. Alright, it means reading of the data will be done from one end to another, alright, only in one direction, and then any input value is matched with any cell data value, any cell value. Wherever the match is found, that value is found. You can print the value, you can print the corresponding value, and so on. Right, now this is very good search in case your data set is very small, but if you have a very large volume of data, this search is not very useful. I am not saying impossible, but it will not be very useful, as suppose if there is 10 million data and your data is into last, let's say some 100th position, last 100 position, then it is very difficult for computer, or rather say it's very a long process for computer to move from first data and reach to the second last or second last 100 data. Until then the computer is still searching. Alright, so it becomes very tedious, and we really don't know whether to start from end or to start from beginning search. Right, so in that case this search is very useful when the volume of data is very small, but when the volume of data is very large, the binary search will be of more use. Now for binary search, okay, well, let's also very quickly understand here, since there is a program in linear search. So here are the code numbers, that is a program requirement. Without data you cannot search. There is an input coming from the user. Now once the input comes, this particular line is useful to generate these cell numbers. Cell numbers begin from 0 until the value less than dot length. This is always dot length minus 1. That's why I less than code dot length means code dot length is 10, I less than 10 means 9. Computer will generate 0 to 9 all the values, and the same value is going to be applied over here. Okay, so code of 0 will read 101, code of 1 will read 102, and so on till code of 9 will read 110. Any input value, so assuming we are inputting value is 106, which computer will apply. So the loop will help us generating the numbers that are required by I, index numbers, and code of that particular index number will help us reading this particular set of values, and computer will try and find a match. Wherever the match is found, computer will print that required data found, or the location of the data. If there is any corresponding data can also be printed, for which you need to refer to our linear search video, and immediately will stop the program, terminates the program. But if the loop is over and none of the condition were found true, it means the input value may not be present. So computer will leave the loop to say that data does not exist or cannot find. Okay. Now this is what the linear search is. It means my reading direction was from 0 number cell value to the last cell value till the length. I can start with the length and go till 0, the reverse. Okay. But when it comes to binary search, it's a different search. So binary is by in Greek means 2. It's a two-way search. Now let us understand what is this two-way search means. Now before I get into this two-way search, there are 3 requirements of binary search, whereas linear search had 2 requirements. Binary search, of course, data set is necessary like linear search, input from the user necessary like linear search, but the third and the most important thing that you have is whatever data that you have, those data must be in some sorted order, ascending or descending, some sorted order, then only binary search is possible, otherwise the binary search is not possible. So this is the third and most important requirement. Remember students, in case in ICSE, if a question has come on binary search, 101% you will find computer has given the question has given you the data set in already ascending order. No question in ICSE will come where you have to input data, sort them and then do the binary search. Sorting is out of your syllabus, at least this year. Okay, in 2021 sorting is not there, but otherwise sorting is a part of an ICSE portion. However, here in binary search, data whatever will be given will be already in order, because if you allow user to input data, it cannot be always in any kind of an order, it can be in any order. Alright, so in that case, yes, the data will be either in ascending or descending order. So we will assume that the data is in ascending order. So what we do is in general, so I am not going to read this right now, we will straight get into the business here. So I have data, set of data which is here. Alright, we have an input coming from the user, these 2 lines are necessary, and we have data which must be in some order, sorted order. So if you look at this, especially the data on which search is required. Now, for example, we want to search for a roll number, so the roll number must be in ascending order. You can't have roll number in ascending order and marks in ascending order. Like if I tell you in your school, stand in your height wise order and your roll number wise order and your date of birth wise order, not possible. You can be either date of birth wise order, or you can be roll number wise order or height wise order. So one of them on which this is possible. So one of the field on which the search is required must be in some order. So here is, if you look at it, 11, 13, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23, 25, 30, they are in ascending order from lower value to the higher value. So my all 3 requirements are here. Okay, my all 3 requirements are here. Data set is ready, input is ready, and the data is also on which search is possible, search is done, is in order. So if I have to do search on marks, then marks should have been in some order, then roll number is immaterial. Okay, so let's say these 3 things are there. Now what exactly the logic here is? So I would like everyone to focus on this concept. If you do not understand the concept, you will always be in trouble with binary search. Okay, it's a very simple but highly logical and very intelligent. If you actually sit down and think, you will realize that somebody has really thought very intelligently about this logic. So what's the logic? Let us understand. So in binary search, what we do is we take the cell number. We don't worry about the value. We take the first cell number, which is 0 in this case, and we take the last cell number, whichever is the last cell number. So in general, whatever is your variable, dot length minus 1, because roll dot length is 10, 10 minus 1 is 9. So that will help me getting the last cell number and the first cell number. They are necessary because we will end up finding the central cell number, the cell number. Okay. Now what is a binary search? It says that in this case we are going to find a central cell number. How do we find? We find the first cell value, that's 0, okay, last cell value which is the last index number, we total them and we say divide by 2. So 0 plus 9 divided by 2, 9 divided by 2 is 4. Remember, in your 9th standard, integer divided by integer is integer. 9 is integer, 2 is integer, so your mathematical answer is 4.5, okay, but the integer side of this is 4, so computer will take only 4, okay. Now that becomes your central cell number. So you are in the middle, the center of your data. Understand, your data are already in ascending order. Your central cell will help you understanding what is the central cell value, data value, okay. Now this will divide your entire data set into half, the first half and the second half, in ascending order. Now suppose if you have entered 18, okay, entered 18 as a user, then logic is that my central cell, that is M, okay, roll of M which is 4. So roll of 4 which is 18. So if my input value is equal to the central cell value, my data is found, I can print a result and I can straight exit my program. I repeat, there are 3 possibilities that will come out of this. My central cell data value which is 18, central cell is 4 whose data value is 18. Once I find a central cell, roll of that value, so roll of M, so this is like roll of M, M is 4, so roll of 4, so roll of 4 is 18. If my input value is equal to central cell value, first shot my data is found, I can exit the program. The second option that you have is, what if my input value is greater than, so for example my input value is 30. So if my input value is found greater than my central cell data, then if you look at this, all numbers greater than 18 are here in this side. Alright, so if my input value which is 23 is greater than my central cell data value, my search is going to be on the right hand side. On the right hand side, first logic. Okay, how do you go about it? We will see as and when we cross. But if you look at this way, if my input value is greater than the central cell data value, actually I am leaving the first entire half, okay, and I am moving to the second half of the value. So if you have 10 million data also, in the first round straight 5 million data is out. Now you need to find out a center of this data. We will see how to find, don't worry, okay, but we will find a center of this data. Again, if you want to find a center of this data, you need to make a little change. If you look at this, in this side LV is already present, it is FV which is 0. I need to make it, because 4 is already being used, so I need now 5 number to be converted into FV. So if I make 5 number as FV, then 5 plus 9 divided by 2, 14 divided by 2 is 7, that will make my central cell layer. Now how do I understand that 5 is my value? You will find that it is a logical reasoning, it is a logical relation with previous central plus 1. So M which was 4 plus 1 becomes my 5. So now movement has taken on this side. Again if you look at it, we find a central cell, M is my now 7. Now roll of 7 which is 23 is equal to my input value, data found, break program over. Now if you look at this, out of the 10 data in the second round, first round we found the first cell, okay, second round we found the next cell and the data is found. So the program can be stopped in the second only, you can say search. So if I have 10 million data, again first time half million data is gone. In the second round another 2.5 million data is gone. So in actual 2 rounds, if you see, you have 7.5 million data is out. So when a volume is very large, this search is much better. Now what if my input value is lesser than this? So let me change the color so that we can at least make the difference. So I am going to go with the black color. Okay, So now if my input value is 13, so in my first round when computer has started with FV as 0 and LV as 9, my central cell is 4. Now logic here is, if my central cell is equal to my input value, data found, break, program over, exit. If my input value is greater, we make FV value change to whatever m plus 1 and we start moving on the right hand side. But if my input value is lesser, it means lesser than 18, central cell M4, okay. If my input value is lesser, then I have to start searching here, because in ascending order my data, all lesser data than 18 are on the left hand side, okay. So now what we need to do is, we need to start making a search from here to here. Now if you see here, FV has been part of it, M is already being used. So now what I can do now is, I can shift my LV which was 9 from here to here minus 1, M minus 1, 4 minus 1 is 3. So my LV has become now 4 minus 1, 3. So now 0 plus 3, alright, 0 plus 3, if you see, divided by 2 is supposed to be technically 1.5, mathematically 1.5, because, but computer programming point of view, technically it is supposed to be only 1, because they are integer. So my 1 become my central cell M. Now if you see, roll of 1 which is 13 is equal to my input 13, data found, break, program over. So I repeat the entire concept once again, alright, without this. So I remove this. Now very simple, in binary search we will end up finding a central cell. The general logic is that your central cell data value, that is over here 18. So if my input value, logic is, the data is already in ascending order, some sorted, so ascending. If my input value is equal to the central cell data value, data found, break, system.exit, program over. But if my input value is greater than the central cell data value, my search has to be only on the right hand side, because of ascending order, all greater data than 18 are on the right hand side only. There is no point in searching left hand side. Similarly, if my input value is lesser than my first central data, then my search has to be done to the left hand side only, because all the values lesser than 18 are on the left hand side, not on the right hand side. So at any point of time you are dividing the first one, okay, the data into center, okay, you found a central value. If my data value is found, great, program over. If it is greater, I move right hand side or I move left hand side. Whichever side I move, again I find a center of that, again within them, if my data is found, great, program over. Not, then I either move left hand side or I move right hand side until the data is found. So this process will carry on, alright, until a particular condition satisfies. So what we need to understand is, what is this condition is. Okay, so let us come here and understand this entire logic once again with the help of proper programming written example. It's still not complete program, I will get to the complete program, but let us first understand this logic. Okay, so again I pick up, I still keep the black pen. Okay, so assuming my data input is 18, okay, again we start with my first cell value. Okay, so if I declare here my FV is integer, of course all of them is 0, my LV is whatever the roll dot length minus 1, okay, so logically my FV is 0, my LV is 9, and logically my M so far is nothing. Alright, now this entire line that you can see arrow, that actually indicates loop. We'll see what is to be written in the loop. Okay, so the first time 0 plus 9, because FV and LV are 0 and 9, okay, 0 plus 9 divided by 2 is 4, so my M is 4. Input 18, which is here, okay, is equal to, supposed to be double equal to, but right now I am not writing a complete program, so I have not written, but double equal to roll of m. M is 4, so roll of 4. Roll of 4 is 18. So if 18 is equal to 18, data found, we can stop the process by using exit. But the second option is, what if my input value is greater than 18? So let us again begin the process with input was 23. Again computer will start FV is 0, LV is 9, 0 plus 9 divided by 2 is 4, my M is 4. Now we take 23. 23 is equal to roll of 4, which is 18. False. 23 greater than roll of 4, which is 18. Yes, 23 is greater than 18. Therefore, we will have to now move our pointer. Alright, the FV which was here, I want the FV to be here, which is whatever is my central value plus 1 over here, because my LV is already 9. LV is already 9 in the memory. It is the FV which is whatever 4 plus 1 will become 5. Now, for some reason, obviously if the number is greater, it can't be lesser. Now, for some reason, if the loop repeats, then FV plus LV, 5 plus 9, 14 divided by 2 is 7. So, my value is 7. Now, again 23, which is my N, is equal to roll of 7, which is here 23, data found, stop, the progress can be done. Now, what if my input value is 13? Okay, if my input value is 13, so what we need to do is we need to just erase this part to begin understanding again. Okay, now let's take here. So if my input value is 13, okay, 30. So again computer will come, FV is 0, LV is 9, okay, assuming these lines are written somewhere here. Okay, now again N, which is 13 now, 13 is equal to roll of 4, because M value is 4, 0 plus 9 divided by 2. So now 13 is equal to M roll of 4, which is 18, false. 13 greater than 18, which is also false. 13 less than 18 is a true statement. 13 is lesser than roll of 4, which is 18. So I have to move my center point now on the left hand side. I have to find the center of this side. Now FV is already there 0, you can see here, but LV, which is 9, I need to shift it to this side to make it to 3 as LV over here. For this 4 minus 1, I will have to say minus 1. So in that case, whatever is my M minus 1, I have to overwrite my LV. So 4 minus 1 is 3. So LV is equal to 4 minus 3, so LV became 3. Now somehow if the loop goes back, okay, then 0 plus 3 divided by 2 is 1, my midpoint is 1. 13 is equal to roll of 1, which is still 13, so the data found, we can stop the process. So we will have to continue this. Now what is to be written in the loop? So I have written it over here, but I will explain you with the help of an example. So the logic here is, if I erase everything, the logic here is, it says the loop, alright, until the data is found or the FV is less than equal to LV. So what does this mean? Now what is this FV less than equal to LV? A simple example I will give you, assuming that, okay, here I am putting the dots over here. To make us understand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Let us assume that you are a monitor of a class, okay, and you've been assigned that some child in your class who is some class has brought a mobile. So 2 monitors have been deputed a duty to search them. So let us say that if you start searching from here and your friend is start searching from here, this one is found, not there, this one is also found, not the mobile not found, mobile not found, mobile not found, mobile found, search, data, program over, search is over, we don't need, because we had one mobile to be found, it's found. But suppose this is not found, not found, not found, not found, not found, Now there could be one particular student in some case where both of you may reach at the same place. Assuming one of you have checked, now is there a need for you to move this side and your friend to move this side? Then the answer is capital no, because you already done this search. This guy or you should not now move this side, or you should not move this side. First understand this concept. Okay. Now second concept that you need to understand is, what if I have int n is equal to 25? So my logic is n is having only one cell, which is 25. So what could be the cell number? The answer is 0, because the first value is always having a 0 cell in all cases. Now if I actually have to find what is FV of this, it is 0. What is LV of this? It is also 0. So in a best or a worst, whichever situation you say, you can come to a common student, or the FV and LV can be same, but under no circumstances the FV can cross LV. Alright, this is LV, this is FV. FV cannot cross LV. If FV and LV is crossed, the data is not present, because if the data is present, you will find that the data is found and the program will get over. But if the data is not present and you keep finding center point, center point, center point, there will be a point where FV will cross LV. Like as I said, in a best situation it can be same. You can come to a same student, you can come to a same data, but you cannot cross FV and LV, because the moment it is crossed and data is still not present, it means there is no data. I will prove this with the help of an example. Okay, so let us understand this example before we get into the actual program. So let us pick up a number which is not present. So I am picking up a number, let's say for example 21. Okay, 21 is not present here, if you all can see. Now let us see how computer will cross FV and LV. Okay, so my condition is until my FV is less than or equal to LV. So I can write here if while until the value is FV is less than or equal to LV. What is this now? So now let us start with the first one. So assuming again my FV is 0, my LV is whatever roll dot length minus 1. So on paper my FV is 0, LV is 9. Okay, the moment I input a value 21, computer has checked FV and LV, which is 0 and 9. 0 is less than equal to 9, true statement. So we came inside. 0 plus 9 divided by 2 is 4. So my M is now 4. My input value is 21, so I will put this 21 over here. 21 equals to roll of M. M is 4, so roll of 4, 18. Roll of 4, 18. 21 equal to 18, false. 21 greater than 18, true. So FV is equal to M. M is 4, 4 plus 1, 5. So FV will become 5. Now if this is true, this can't be true. If a number is greater, can't be lesser. We come here. So there has to be a bracket for closing this. Okay, closing this. Now computer will have a check here, FV and LV. FV is 5, LV is 9. 5 less than equal to 9 is a true statement. So the computer will take a round. 5 plus 9 is 14 divided by 2 is 7. So my M is 7 now. 21 is equal to roll of 7. Roll of 7 is 23. 21 equal to 27, false. 21 greater than roll of 7, 23, false. 21 is not greater than 23. 21 is less than 23, true. So now you know that the data center point is here, but the data is lesser. My 21 is lesser, so I have to start searching this side. So it says LV is equal to M minus 1. So midpoint was 7, 7 minus 1, LV will become 6. Okay, so now you have 5 and 6. 5 and 6. 5 less than equal to 6 is a true statement. So computer will take you here to say 5 plus 6, 11 divided by 2. So 11 divided by 2 is going to be 5.5, which is 5. Okay, now which is 5. 21 is equal to roll of 5. Roll of 5 is 20. 21 is equal to 20, false. 21 greater than 20, true. So again I will make a center of these two. Okay, 5 and 6 center. So FV is equal to M. M is already 5. 5 plus 1 will become 6. So FV will become 6. You can see now the situation come where both of them are in the center over here. 20 is 2. They are same. Okay. Now after this control you can be taken here. Okay, I mean this will be false of course. So we come here. Of course 6 and 6. 6 less than or equal to 6 is a true statement. So computer will find 6 plus 6 divided by 2 is also 6. Now you say 21 is equal to roll of 6. 21 is equal to 22, false. 21 equal to 22, false. 21 greater than 22, false. 21 lesser than 22, true. So we need to now again get back to my LV is M. M is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. My M was 6. 6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. Goes here. Now when I come here, FV is 6. LV is 5. FV is 6. LV is 5. 6 less than equal to 5 is a false statement. So the loop is over. I just have to write system.out.println data not found outside this. So under every circumstances when the data is not matching, input is not present, you will find LV is going to cross. But if at all data is found at some place, definitely your FV must have been less than LV. That time data is found, we can stop the process. And if we keep on finding center point until, alright, if there is no loop, automatically no data found, that the pointer will close. I hope you guys have understood this process. So let us take this particular example. Okay, let us take this particular example. This is a complete program written. Okay, let me just see if I have a practical. Yeah. So I'll take you to the program straight now. Before I get into the program, it can be written this way. So if I can write down either the number is equal. If the number is not equal, my input is equal to the center point. If not, then my number can be written greater than the center point, or my number is lesser than. Now the same thing I can write down, if my number is equal to center point, else if my number is greater than center point. If that is false, it means my number is lesser, so I can write. So either of the thing is acceptable, either this or this, you can write whichever you are comfortable with. The logic is very important, that when the data is found greater or lesser, what is to be changed. So if I take you to the program, okay, the first, like binary linear search, here also the program could be, I can write just data found or data not found. I can print the location, I can print the corresponding value, possible. Okay, now here if you see, I have a set of data. Okay, my FV is already being declared to 0, my LV is already being declared to whatever the r dot length minus 1, and M is my midpoint, which I am going to take it over here. Okay, so my data is there first. Second, data is already in ascending order if you see. Okay, my input is coming from the user in the form of S. Now we say until the value of FV is less than equal to LV, process is here. So first one, we find a midpoint. If midpoint value cell number data is found equal, we will print data found, stop the program. If my input value is found greater than the central cell data value, we shift the FV, and if my input value is found lesser than data value, we shift the LV. Okay, so for example, say I input 38. 38 should give me element found. So I run this program, I say 38, tell me an element found. Suppose I put here some data, then element does not exist because that value is not present. I have corresponding values. Okay, I'll also get back to the location. Which is the location? For example, if I say 38, so human point of view 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 number position, which is my M. Okay, M. Now index number is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So my M will find 7. While printing, I am going to say whatever is this plus 1. So I am going to say M plus 1 because this is the cell number. So if I say here 38, I get found in location number 8. So I need to just location and I write 8. So if I say here human point of view, it is location 8, computer point of view is location 7, you can see. And if I say some other number, okay, it will tell me it does not exist. So I can find any location as well. So two types of program: search successful or not successful, element found or element not found, element is found in which location. And the other possible question can be is a corresponding value. So if my data is in particular cell number, corresponding cell number value I have to print. So if my data is found in this cell, I am not only printing that value, but I am also printing marks of him. Again the logic remains the same. I am inputting a roll number. Roll numbers are in all ascending order. Okay, FV is 0, LV is whatever r dot length minus 1. We input a value from the user. Now we know FV is 0, LV will be 9 or 10, which is less. So we find a midpoint. We again say my input value is equal to my midpoint cell value, data found, exit, program over. If this is not true, if my input value is greater than my central cell value, we shift the FV value. If my input value is lesser than my central cell value, we shift the LV value. This process will continue until my FV is lesser than or equal to LV. So until then, if data found, program will be over. If data is not found and the process carries on, there will be a time where FV will cross LV. Your program will stop the loop and will say data does not exist. Even here also, let us take, let's say roll number 9, marks is 88. So if I compile this and I say roll number entered is 9, marks is 88. If roll number 22 is entered, roll number does not exist. If you want, I can write roll number 1, it will still give me marks. If you want, I can write roll number 10, it will still give me marks. So all numbers that you will see will definitely come. That is what the beauty about this particular logic. I hope you guys have understood this. The third one here that I have, again it's a very similar one, okay, very similar to this. Now there are three variables. There is code number, there is cost, and there is a particular product value. But the logic remains same. FV is 0, LV is whatever the code. So we are asking code number. So logically code number should be in ascending or descending order. So here they are in ascending order. Okay. Again we say FV less than equal to LV. If it is true, find a center point. If my input value is equal to code of M, data found, system.exit, program over. If my input value is greater than code of M, we shift the FV, lesser we shift the LV. This will go on until either the data is found or the loop is over, or sorry, the FV value will cross LV and I will get data does not exist. Now in a situation, so I get back here, okay, I am going to write down a situation where, let's say, what if the data items are in descending order? Okay, data items are in descending order. So for example, let me just see if I have this data here. No. So in a situation, let's say that my data, so I am going to say int r, I am just still going to keep r only, is equal to, now instead of data in ascending order, what if I have 105 now, and I have got 49, and then I have got 38, and then I have got 27, 16, 12, 10, 8, 7 and 3. Let's see what if my data is in descending order, for at least understanding point of view. Then what changes I can make in my program. Now my data is not in ascending order. So when my central value is found, okay, my input value can be equal, okay, let me just put a semicolon. My central value is found, if it is equal, great, data is found. But if my central value, my input value is greater than central value, so assuming this is my central value. Now if I tell you, if my input value is greater than the central value, more than 16, then now I am not going, previously we were moving on the right hand side, now we have to move left hand side. I repeat, assuming that I entered 16, okay, my midpoint came 16, 16 is equal to 16, data found, exit, program over. But what if my number is, let's say, 49? Then my input number is found greater than the first central value. Then I don't have to go on the right hand side, now I have to go on the left hand side. So my left hand side means my FV will here be 0, it is the LV that I have to shift here. So my this line would not come here but would come here. And in this case, alright, if my input value, let's say my input value is 8, my first central cell found 16 value, if my input value is less than 8 is less than 16, then I have to start searching here, where my LV must have been 9 over here, it is the FV 0, I need to shift this side, so I will say FV is equal to m plus 1 here. So only these two changes will make the entire descending order. So option 1, I have already exchanged them, you can see, or I keep them as it is and I change this two. Both way it will work. Okay, now if I say, for example, 10, okay, it will tell me in which location it is, because the program shows about location. It will show me the location. See, now if you look at 10 in the 7th position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and if I input here some number, data not exist. So it's a logical thing. Okay, in case the data is in descending order, this is to be understood well. You cannot just by heart and keep writing, you have to understand. Now if my central cell value, alright, value input by the user is greater than the central cell value, I have to move this side and not this side. It was only in ascending order. In descending you move this side. So my LV, which was something, I had to shift it over here. LV is m whatever cell value minus 1, and my input value is lesser than my central cell value. Previously we were moving this side, but now we have to move this side, where LV is already present, it is the FV which is here, I need to shift it over here. That's why it is m plus 1. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood this to grasp this binary search, right? Thank you very much. I think this part of the explanation is over. Thank you, God bless. We will try and see if we can have some more programs on array in some next few videos. Thank you very much. God bless.